NFL Futures video part 4. In this video, we're going to dive into 2 more NFL Futures for this upcoming season. The final video before we dive back into the MLB, which resumes on Friday. But if you are new and you might have missed the previous 3 videos, part 1, part 2, and part 3, I cooked up a plus 1,200, a plus 5,000, and a plus 15,000 odds parlay. If you missed them, you better go check out those videos. I'll link them down in the description and at the end of this video. But we have 2 more to cook up for this upcoming season. And I'm sure we'll have more as the season approaches in a few weeks. But there's one thing this video has that those other videos did not have, and that is our boy Logan, live and in the flesh. And he cooked up you guys a parlay. But first and foremost, Logan, how are you doing? I see you rocking your Panthers polo.
I am rocking my Panthers polo, Austin. It's exciting to talk some football with you. I know we're going to be talking football all season long, college and pros. So really excited for that. And I you know what? I got in the lab with no baseball, and I cooked us up hopefully another winner to stack on the additional parlays that you already recorded.
Hey, that would be electric. As always, we're limiting our unit size early on in the summer, but maybe we'll have some bigger unit plays for the full season, futures-wise. But Logan, since you're our guest today in these videos, I'm going to let you lead things off with your favorite 3-leg parlay for the upcoming season. Take it away.
Yeah, so I got to start this parlay off with a little bit of a homer pick, but a homer pick that makes a whole lot of sense. It's going to be Bryce Young over 17.5 passing touchdowns. Now, look, he had 15 in 2024 in 14 games. So less game sample size. Can he stay healthy? Can he play a whole course of the season? I hope so. That would give us a lot better shot of cashing this over. Also worth noting, though, he finished 2024 very strong. He had a passing touchdown in 10 straight games to end the season, including 2, 2, and 3 in his final 3 games. This is also the second season under Dave Canales. Look, as a Panthers fan, Dave Canales gives me a lot of excitement because I think he's very good at developing young quarterbacks, and he's exactly what Bryce Young needs. Some continuity and an offense that has had anything but continuity over the last several seasons. Now another season of Dave Canales for him to come in and implement his system. And they will rely on Bryce Young. Why? Because they need to figure out what they have in him. Is it time to move on from him? It's a little bit early for that, but it's something the Panthers will definitely, try to figure out this season. And what they did in the draft was amazing. They have better wide receivers this season. Rookie Tet McMillan, second-year Xavier Legette, and Jalen Coker, veteran Adam Thielen. There's a lot of pass catchers in this offense, not necessarily like superstars, but guys that know how to get open, guys that will hopefully take some leaps in this Dave Canales system. And more consistent tight end production is definitely going to be a key for this passing offense, which again, it stalled out in the red zone a few times, but I think this will be a lot more efficient red zone offense. Tremble, Sanders, and rookie Mitch Evans. I love Mitch Evans. I watched him at Notre Dame. I love what he's going to add to this offense. Also worth noting, last point in Bryce Young, the defense will still be pretty bad. Look, guys, this is a passing touchdown over. This is not a Panthers win total over. I'm not touching that. But the Panthers defense still did not get a whole lot of better. They will be trailing in these games. They will be leaning on Bryce Young to throw the ball. And with that, hopefully comes more passing touchdowns. So I love Bryce Young as this first leg. Now let's go into the second leg, though. It's going to be an under. It's going to be Cam Ward under 19.5 passing touchdowns. Look, guys, this is a rookie quarterback. And with a rookie quarterback, he can make me look foolish if he just comes out and light the league on fire. But I also want to bet against that. The NFL is hard for quarterbacks to adjust for a reason. The game plays a lot faster. Defenses will throw looks that Cam Ward didn't see in college. The defensive coordinators will be rubbing their hands together to face a rookie quarterback. I don't care what you want to say about how good he was in college. He will still see a lot of looks that make him uncomfortable. There's also no guarantee that as a rookie, he starts this whole season, especially if the team does struggle. Look, we saw what the Panthers did with Bryce Young. I mean, they put him on the bench. They say, hey, Andy Dalton, go in there. They have Will Levis, Brandon Allen, Tim Boyle, guys like that have taken NFL snaps that even if the Titans are struggling, they might sit him a game or two. That's not out of the realm of possibility. The offensive line for this Titans team is very questionable. I think that's going to be one of the things that plagued Cam Ward. He sat behind a really good Miami offensive line, in college football. But now with these pros, he will be under duress for sure. It's up to him to be able to extend the plays. And again, since the NFL does play faster, it's not going to be as easy for him to just, roll out of the pocket, throw on the run, just hit his guys in stride like that. And this Titans offense does like their running back in Pollard and Spears. Last point of note, injury concerns. I mean, he might get banged up in the pros, especially behind a bad offensive line. there's a lot of factors that I think are going against Cam Ward in this one, which is why I think the under is a sneaky bet to take with that rookie quarterback. Now let's go to the third and final leg of this parlay. It's also going to be another under in passing touchdowns. It's going to be Jared Goff, under 28.5 passing touchdowns. Look, this one could be controversial. You could come out and say, Logan, he's sort of over this line. Jared Goff, one of the highest flying offenses in the league last year. Why are you taking an under in this one? Well, number one, first and foremost, we've got to talk about it. He lost his offensive coordinator. Much tougher schedule for the Lions this season as well. They're gonna play some games potentially in bad weather that maybe they had in that Detroit Dome last year. I felt like Detroit had a million home games last year. I know it was just a perception thing, but it felt like anytime they had a bad schedule potential, they were at home at Ford Field. Also worth noting, he played all 17 games in 3 straight seasons. Could be overdue for an injury, and I don't want to wish that on somebody, and I'm not trying to speak it in existence, but I am going to say that if you're taking a season-long under, you're kind of betting that maybe he regresses a little bit and misses a game or two. I mean, that would help an under a lot. If you're taking an over, you need that guy healthy for 17 games, especially look at what he's done over the last 3 seasons with this line. 29, 30, and 37 passing touchdowns the last 3 seasons. So yes, I hear you. He soared over this line last year. But prior to that, he was flirting right at this line with 29 and 30 passing touchdowns, not necessarily like he's hitting it, by 5 consistently every year. And those were years he stayed healthy. So could he regress a little bit, maybe in the injury department, maybe get banged up? It happens. It happens way more than you think in the NFL. A lot of quarterbacks do miss a game or two. It's just kind of how the nature of the business. And it's also reasonable to say that offense takes a step back with the new coordinator. Plus, there's more footage on this Lions offense. I mean, he's had a lot of snaps, and a lot of the Lions scheme is out there. And that was under the old scheme. I know they can craft up a new scheme as well. But again, is it going to just gel like it did last year? Is it going to be as explosive as it was last year? Because he was getting a lot of explosive passing touchdowns that maybe the defense plays them a little bit more conservative. Maybe they are willing to let Montgomery and Gibbs beat them. It's a possibility, but there will also be more film out on Goff and this Lions offense. So I think teams will scheme them a little bit better. And then last point of note, the Lions defense will be better as a unit. What does that mean for Jared Goff? Well, it means they might be playing with a lead more often than not and not need Jared Goff to sling it a million times late in these games. They're going to probably rely more on Montgomery and Gibbs. And if you look at some of the games last year, that Lions defense was so banged up. Getting guys like Aiden Hutchinson, will be very beneficial for that defense. But it caused them to be trailing in a lot of these games and to rely on Jared Goff's arm way more than I think they even wanted to. That Bills-Lions game, he had 5 touchdowns in that game, which was a crazy game, and they were trailing pretty much the whole game in that one. And it caused that's what the Lions played a lot last year with a bad defense, is they were playing catch-up. And when you play catch-up, you're relying a lot more on Jared Goff. So again, there's a lot of factors in this one where I think Jared Goff does not soar over this touchdown line. And I think the under is a sneaky play. Look, Austin, we got an over and 2 unders in this one. I really love this as a parlay. It's plus 534 on DraftKings, as you see on the screen right there. And Austin, I think it stands a really good chance to cash.
Logan, I absolutely love it. I love it a lot. And something you mentioned about the Lions' tough schedule, they play a lot more outdoor games. I wanted to say I calculated 7 or 8. Last year, I feel like they maybe had 2 outdoors games, and we all know the Jared Goff splits and a dome versus on the road away. Could be interesting. I know not a lot of people won't like that one, but I do like your parlay. We'll track it towards the record at a quarter unit. I have a quarter unit play, and I'll dive right into it right now. Let's talk about these 4 fellows, then we'll go back to Logan for final thoughts. Let's dive into Bijan Robinson for 1,250 rushing yards. It was a 4-leg parlay at 732 odds. Just another quarter unit played, went back over 1.5 units. Look, Bijan was a stud last year, and they finally, towards the end of the year, said, oh, wow, Bijan's good. Yeah, his last 3 games with Michael Penix under center, 90, 94, and 170 rush yards, 1456 in 2024. I mean, Michael Penix, I think, will be a better offense, better QB for this offense than Kirk Cousins was. Now, Kirk Cousins was decent out of the gates, but he had that stretch in there where he didn't throw a touchdown pass for like 4 or 5 straight weeks. It was a disaster, and teams are just begging them to run it, but begging them to throw it. But I look at a guy like Bijan, a guy that can go out there. He could flirt with 100-plus rush yards every single week. There is injury upside with the running back. We know that. but I don't know if he needs to play every single game this season to cash this line. Heck, last year he did, and he still had over 200 yards to spare, and he had some rough games in there. I like his matchups, especially in a weak division. Saints defense is only getting older. The Panthers defense still hasn't made a ton of upgrades, and the Buccaneers have been one of the best rush defenses in the league, but again, they're getting older and older. I could see him having maybe some games against there where he has some yards. I really like that guy to have Bijan to have a big year. Then move to another running back, Jonathan Taylor, 1,250 rush yards. You'll notice that is a theme in this parlay. Now, Jonathan Taylor, JT, he had a big year last year, 1,400 yards. And he finished missing 3 games. He actually missed 3 of those games in there, was banged up, and the offense was bad. They won what? I think 8. They went 8-9. They're once again, their win team total is 7.5. So it's not like we're asking this team to be in leading a ton, but we saw him really end the season strong. Last 4 games of the season. Look at these numbers: 107, 218, 125, and 177 yards. The guy was a menace. I think he had most yards in the final 3 games in NFL history or something crazy like that. He was up there. We know the QB position with Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, whoever the heck is, questionable at best. They're going to want to run the football regardless of score, as long as it's within 2 touchdowns. They're running the football, and I think they'll find ways to get JT the ball. He has been dominant, still have a good offensive line. I trust him. Now, the next 2 guys, this should not be, not going crazy. Derrick Henry, once again, for 1,250 rush yards. Now, Derrick Henry, we all know how good he was last year. 1,900 yards, set a career high 5.9 yards per carry. Now, this will come down to his health, but just like JT, just like Bijan, I think they can miss a game or 2, or maybe even 3, and still cash this prop for their respective teams. Now, if they're missing like 6, 7 games, we're probably cooked, and that's okay. That's why it's just a quarter unit play. But again, Derrick Henry, I know he's on the other side of 30, but this is still a guy they just invested in, and he's a guy that he's a beast. Now, if he was still in Tennessee, maybe I wouldn't be taking this. But again, one of the best offensive lines in football, coming off a career high on nearly 6 yards per carry. And what do you want to do? Load the box against him and just let Lamar Jackson go around the edge? No, not really. You're kind of picking your poison there. And Lamar Jackson also coming off a career season. I don't know how we stop Derrick Henry. We got to pick something. I don't think we want Lamar going around the edge. Even if Derrick Henry regresses a little bit, 6 yards per carry, regressed down to 5 for all I care. Still one of the best guys in football, and he has potential any given snap to take 175 yards. So I'll take a chance there. Speaking of take 175 yards, let's go to Saquon, the final leg, 1,250 rush yards. Now, Saquon is on the cover of Madden, so that might be a curse, but I still think that this guy is as good as it gets. And maybe he regresses a little bit this year, but the man had 2,005 rush yards last season. He even played the final game of the year. He could easily broken an all-time record. 1,250, I certainly think, is within the realm of possibility. Like Derrick Henry, career high 5.8 yards per carry. A great offensive line. They still have Jalen Hurts under center. They still have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, all those guys on the outside. And their defense is arguably one of the best units in football, just like Derrick Henry's Baltimore Ravens defense, which wasn't great last year. They'll be better this year. They were better towards the second half of the year. Again, if the defense keeps them in the game, Saquon's going to continue to get touches. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he sees a cutback in the touches because, coming off I think 340 carries last year in the regular season, the postseason as well, long postseason run. Sure, you can limit the carries here, but we're not asking Saquon to go out there and get 400 carries. Heck, if he gets, honestly, 250, he might easily be able to hit this over 250 at 5 yards a pop. He's already there at 1,250 yards. So again, I really think they're going to still lean on him. That's what they want to do. So again, to wrap up my parlay before I come back to Logan, quarter unit on 4 fellas, 4 elite running backs, all to get 1,250 rush yards, plus 732. A quarter unit play on this turns into 1.83. This is my lowest odds future. And you want to go check out some longer shots, you certainly can. But I think this one is very realistic to hit. We just have to hope these guys stay healthy. Like I said, I still think that they could each miss a couple games and we'd still be in the clear. It comes out if they were to miss more than 4, 5, 6 games, then we might be in a little bit tough spot. But I really think each of these guys is capable. Full workload for each of these guys. Clear RB1s on their teams. 1,250 rush yards a pop from each of them to cash my futures parlay. But Logan, number 1, how do you feel about my future? Number 2, how do you feel about this upcoming season for your Panthers?
Number 1, I as you were talking, I was falling in love with this parlay because your final point is something I think is very important in the NFL. Is there's so many running back by committees. You're just taking 4 stud running backs in this one and say, we're going to run the wheels off these guys, which is what we saw, with Saquon Barkley, especially last season. We're just going to let these guys carry us to victory. And for the most part, a lot of these guys play behind very good offensive lines. I mean, you sort of touched on that, but there's some good offensive lines here that really can dominate the line of scrimmage. And that's what the offensive identities of a lot of these teams are. Bijan Robinson, I mean, the Falcons' offensive line is what it is, but they play bad defenses like the Panthers. Yeah. Do you think I want to watch Bijan Robinson run all up and down my Panthers? Not really, but at least I'll have a little bit of skin in the game to root for in this parlay. So I love your parlay. And as far as this upcoming season, Austin, I'm so excited for it. Football cannot come back soon enough. I know, baseball's had our ups and downs this season, but NFL is just it's so fun. It's so fun to wake up and, sweat out everything on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. It's a great time to be alive.
Hey, it's coming back less than 2 seasons, 2 months away. I mean, I think we have a preseason games in the end of July, something crazy like that. Either way, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a blast. Logan and I's teams aren't very good, but hey, that just means we have high upside this year, Logan. We're coming in with no expectations. That's exactly what you want to see. Although Bryce Young, we need at least 18 touchdowns out of you. That's what we're rooting for. Either way, those are our two final future parlays of the upcoming season. We might have some more close to the season, but this little MLB All-Star break, 4 videos all about NFL futures. I'll post the other 3 right on the screen. Go check out those, or they'll be linked down below. Again, like I said, these are our lowest odds ones in this video. Some other ones in there, $25 turns into $4,000. Go check it out. Austin Logan signing out. We'll see you guys back tomorrow for Friday MLB plays. We'll see you guys then. Peace.